Hey guys, Dishsoap here, currently rank 1 NA at the time of this recording, and I just wanted to go over the comp I've been having the most success with in the B patch, which is 7 Faded Flex, Faded Aphelios, whatever you want to call it. In my last 50 games, I've basically played it more than half of my games. As you can see with Aphelios in, I have a 2.59 average placement, 85% top 4 rate, and 25% win rate. I've been playing it a lot. I think it's like the most consistent way to climb, and let's go over how to play it. And to do that, we will be using the new website I've launched with my editor and Frodan, TFT Academy. It's in beta. And what it is, it's just a really quick way to see the top meta comps curated by me and Frodan. That's like easily digestible and something you can put on like your other monitor or something. For instance, you can open up Bard. It'll show you what units to play. It'll show you an overall game plan, what items to slam. Just like really quick, really helpful, stuff like that. And I have a guide here on the site for 7 Faded Flex. Just wanted to go over it. To go over this, you kind of have to explain the faded trait, which is like a little confusing. Probably their most complicated trait this set. Basically how it works is every single unit has their own faded bonus, and you pair two of them to like craft a trait. So think of it like you're crafting like a custom trait based on certain stats. For example, Ari is AP, Kindred is attack speed, Thresh is armor and MR, Aphelios is AD, Emblem is healing, or is regen. Yasuo is shield, Syndra is percent damage, and Set is omnivamp. So you have like 8 effects to choose from, and you use 2 of them to like make a custom trait. Now at 3 faded, you only give that bonuses to your pair. But at 5 and 7, you give them to your entire faded, like all your faded units. And currently, the most powerful way to use this effect is by stacking defenses on top of each other with Thresh. So in the early game, we're going to be pairing Thresh and Yasuo because Thresh gives our entire team a bunch of armor and MR, and then when we put shields on top of that, those shields are going to be harder to break because of the extra health, so we're kind of just multiplying the effectiveness of the shield. And then in the late game, when we find Set, we want to be not copying the shield anymore, or not faded bonusing the shield. We want to be faded pairing Thresh and Set for kind of the same reason. Set's faded bonus is Omnivamp, so any damage we heal back is just going to be more effective HP since we have like 60 armor and MR at 7 faded, for example. We want to pair to Set late game because in the late game, our Aphelios, our Syndra, and even like our Thresh Jet and other units are going to be doing a lot more damage than they would be in the early game, so it kind of outpaces the effectiveness of the shield. Just rule of thumb, don't overthink it. Go Yasuo and Thresh as your early pair, and then swap to Set and Thresh in the late game. I'll just go over a few mistakes I see people make with this comp all the time on ladder. Is number 1, not prioritizing anti-heal. Anti-heal is usually important in every single comp, but it's so important in this one because since we're using all of our faded like trait budget into defensiveness, we're getting like no extra damage from our trade. So the fights are going to last long. We're actually going to have a pretty hard time killing stuff. So we can't really afford for that stuff to heal back up. So anti-heal is required. The best way to get it is red buff Aphelios, but that's kind of hard to get since bows are the most contested component in the game. So something like a Sunfire Thresh is good as well. BIS Aphelios is going to be IE, red buff Ginsu. It's kind of hard to get every game. You're kind of playing a tempo comp, so you can't really grade it. A realistic BIS would be like Rageblade IE Rudons or something, or like Rageblade IE GS, something like that. So we want those items on Aphelios. Aphelios items are the most important, along with anti-heal, and then we want to be itemizing Thresh as our tank, and Syndra as our secondary carry. Syndra items aren't the most important, just give her the leftover trash, and you'll be good with it. Now, you don't need an emblem to play 7 Faded. It fits once you hit the set, but obviously getting the emblem means you don't need the set early, and it just gives you spike, and late game it lets you drop Yasuo. So an emblem is like really high prio. Take emblem over pretty much everything, like Ogwen was. But another big mistake I see people make is faded spatting their Ashe. Never faded spat Ashe. This unit is not good. In fact, don't put a single item on Ashe, maybe a TG. The reason why is that she's not benefiting from faded, and Aphelios is just better. So you'd much rather give faded spat to your Ornn, which gains the defensive stats from Thresh, and he actually Ornn does decent amount of damage, and he can heal up with like the Omnivamp and stuff. But also, if you keep your Ornn alive, he can farm items for your Thresh and your Set, meaning you don't have to have as many frontline items. So remember, we're using all of our traits power level into buffing like our defensiveness. So like having multiple items on our front line isn't actually the most important thing. Like we'd rather have 3 items Syndra, 3 items Aphelios, and just have Ornn pump out items to our Thresh and our Set. But yeah, that's about it. Just going over the basics of the comp. Now I will be going over Avad. I don't want to go through this like too slow, but I also don't want to be sitting here in downtime, so I'm going to play on 2x speed. Portal is completed item, and in the early game, just try to pick up Aries. Like a natural like branch of this opener is like you play around like Umbral with like Darius pairs with Yasuo, York pairs with Thresh, but there's like a lot of variations. If you like high roll an Affiliates from early Orb or something, you can play around that with like Sniper, just depends. Our items are Sword, Chain, Cloak. It's pretty much always going to be a Stoneplate Slam because we want to keep the sword open for an Aphelios item, so you might as well just slam your tank components. Note that Stoneplate Yasuo is like kind of insane. Like another way you can play this comp, you can go Yasuo 2 with like Stoneplates and like full defensive items, and then backline AP items, and then just go fast 9 because like Stoneplate Yasuo is actually unkillable, especially if you get like 2. I don't really like any of these augments here. I don't really like taking combat early. Lunch Money just doesn't give you enough, and yeah, so we have to take Silver Spoon. It's okay, middle of the pack. Here, I kind of just want to level to 5 to see better shops. Okay, honestly, here, I don't even know what I took. I probably took Shiver Spark. God, I don't even remember what I took. Okay, I actually might have taken Shojin as well. Wow, that's a hard choice. You might think I take Rudons because, like, I mean, spoiler alert, this is an Aphelios game, but I'm not 100% sure it is. But even if it's still, like, even if it is Aphelios, like, you can still go, like, Shojin Syndra. Ember Shred in the comp is actually, like, really, really good. Like, your Thresh does a decent amount of AP. You obviously have Syndra, Ari, and then also Ornn does AP. I want to say I went Shiv here, but I could see myself going Spark or Shojin. Let's see what past Dishsoap says. I think this was a couple days ago, so I don't actually remember. Okay, I went Spark. Okay. And then you just send the Stoneplate because that's the only thing you can make. Honestly, I agree with Patch to show up. It was probably a Spark Slam over Shiv. And high roll early Kane from that pre-level. Kane kind of falls off stage 3, but in stage 2, when he's giving me Ghostly, it's insane. I don't really have to watch these. I just have a Kane on stage 2 and a Spark. Spark is really, really good for early tempo. And then we see the Thresh and the Kindred. We want to buy them, but we also kind of want to make money. But then we drop the Umbral for Faded because we have... gives us Reaper, and yeah, we're carrying RE2. Yeah, makes sense. We can't make 10 though, which is kind of a bummer, but it's not worth selling Kane ever. Take items on Thresh, really, really good. On Carousel, you really, really want to prioritize Bow because red buff, red Ginsu, all that stuff, but pretty much everyone, at least in the buy games, is prioing Bow, so you're not often going to get that. Usually you can get Glove for IE. Glove isn't that contested, and past that, it's kind of situational. Like, sorting Glove to make IE is fine sometimes. I think, like, the best, like, random component besides that's, like, the sword bow. Other stuff is actually Cloak. Because Cloak can go Adaptive, which can be a frontline or a Syndra item. It can also be Stoneplate, which you saw me slam. It can also be Spark, which I also took. It can also be Rudons. So, like, if you don't know what to take, and, like, the bow is gone, and, like, the sword is gone, just take the Cloak. Here, yeah, I just take Belt. Belt can go into Sunfire, so, I mean, I guess Chain can go into Sunfire as well. Yeah, both are pretty equal there. We just continue streak, pick up the Yasuo, get a Chain, probably just gonna make a Sunfire, and then we get Sword Tier. So it's always Sunfire here, and then you have like the secondary decision of what else you can slam. You can either go Shojin or DB. I would go Shojin here. Like, you're probably supposed to wait until you like have to slam it, like until you fight someone strong, because like an encounter or an augment can like change what you slam, like say you get Pandora's or something. But ignoring that, like say you have to slam an item, I would probably go Shojin just because like IE is better than DB on Aphelios, and then we actually have to use this tier to make a mana item because we already have 3 item Thresh with the Sunfire Slam. So I think I would probably make Shojin because I can't really go like Adaptive or Redemption right now. Here you could also like roll for Aphelios. I've done that a few times in a spot like this, like you just roll for 5 Faded. But I think since I have like the Cane that wraps up my board perfectly and I hit an Arcanist in that chop, I don't think I have to. So I think I go Sunfire and slam Shojin here. Again, I don't actually remember the details of this. Yeah, I just make the Shojin. Also kind of make like even if I'm not even playing Aphelios here, it kind of makes sense because I'm already slamming like Spark. So we're going to be playing around at least some kind of AP. But yeah, like it looks kind of weird, like oh, you're playing Aphelios from this game. You have no bows. You have all AP items. But I've done this like a few times. You just get like one bow item later and it's fine. And you just play for like duo carry Aphelios and Syndra. I even today was 3-way contested Faded, and my 2-1 spot, like I slammed Archangels on a Darius 2-1, and then everyone else was like slamming Aphelios items, and I outplaced all of them because I had HP from the like Archangel slam. Scoreboard Scrapper is unpickable on 3-2, especially from 100 HP. I don't even know why they offer it to you on 3-2. It's like being offered pumping up on 3-2. It's just like, yeah, It's just terrible. You can't click this. Capricious, I don't really have anyone to put it on right now. My cane has a sword. Even if you didn't have a sword, it like doesn't really scale well into late game. And you have my bow, buffs my team attack speed, which is nice, but I also get a bow to like start working on Aphelios items. And when I'm 100 HP, getting a bow is gonna be really, really hard. A 3-year-old blades, I mean, I'm not playing shit here. And then Idealism, nah. Hodge is actually, like, any healing item in this comp is actually pretty bad because late game we're going to be playing around set Omnivamp anyways. Like, try your hardest not to bait Gunblade and Hodge. Those items are not the best. Oh, and since I have Silver Spoon, my level interval has changed a bit. When you have Silver Spoon, you hit like the level intervals 1 turn early. For instance, 3-1 is usually not a good interval. It's 3-2, but on this one, it's 3-1 to level 6 and 3-3 to level 7. So here I just level. And here we're rolling for the Aphelios for 5 faded. We also have like this random Amumu pair, this Kindred pair. So I think it's worth digging a bit. And then we find the Syndra and Aphelios, and we're chilling. And I put in the Thresh over the Aphelios because we want the shield on our whole team like we talked about earlier. And we're like really, really set up for this game now. I actually think I ended up losing my streak after leveling. Notable, this is like a meta-specific thing, is that Ghostly actually has a pretty strong counter against us, because we're relying on like super tanks and nothing can out tank a full Ghostly setup with like all like the ghosts on you. You just take a glove for IE. We basically can't tank against them, and we just get outscaled. But late game, if your board is good enough and you just have enough good units on your board, you can beat them. And we'll see that this game. And here I think I just get rid of the cane because it's not faded. It's not really helping me that much. And just IE the Ahri. We're looking to pivot off Aphelios. Honestly, Aphelios 1 might already be stronger. It probably is, but I mean, it's close. We're going to swap over on Wolves regardless. Also to note, there's like perfect synergy board on level 7 that some people like. It was like the old version to play Aphelios. You go like Thresh, Aphelios, Syndra, Alawi, Shin, Amumu, Ashe is like the exact units. You faded pair Thresh and Aphelios, and you like reroll for all the 3 costs. The problem with that right now is that this comp is really, really contested. You you can't play that version uncontested, and also that version is just like worse than the normal version as soon as you hit a set. So I figured, why waste all of your time rolling for like these like 3-star Amumu, 3-star Alawi when I can just level 8 and find 1 set. It's easier to do. But you can buy stuff like Amumu and Alawi for like mid-game tempo though. It's fine. And here, I just want to be rolling for Thresh 2 and Aphelios 2. They're my biggest upgrades for a while. And, oh, I had a set. Maybe I shouldn't have reviewed this game. Might be a little too high roll. So as soon as I hit the set, I just instantly level. That's all you really need, basically. And I'll just be carrying Aphelios 1. It's fine. Trojan Syndra, Rage Red Aphelios. And then we have Belt Cloak. Honestly, even Shroud Slime here is not that bad. But the reason I'm not doing it is because I just really want offensive items. Like if I can get Erudons in this Aphelios, it'd be a lot better. Yeah, I was originally just gonna roll for Aphelios 2 and Thresh 2 and level later, but as soon as I hit the set, I am fine with Aphelios 1. Augment here. 3's a crowd, not the best. Late game, I'm only going to be playing 2 units. Also just got nerfed. Pandora's items already have good items. Stand United, we don't actually play that many traits. Now, tons of stats, cybernetic bulk, I'm actually not sure. I chose to reroll tons of stats just because, like, I don't know, maybe there's like a faded spot underneath it or something, but there wasn't, so I just take bulk. And I think I just built the set for bulk value. This could be wrong, but I don't click the Amumu because I want like this. I want a grid for like Renons on Aphelios, and I thought I might actually keep this Amumu because to me, I'm thinking I might actually just go straight to 9 with this board, and then Amumu fits with Ashe. Note here that I'm not playing Sniper. I'm choosing instead to play another frontline unit. I think I naturaled an Aphelios, so I like roll a little bit for one of the upgrades, hit 1, so I sat. But yeah, you can just see like my team is super tanky, and then they also just heal up because of the set Omnivamp. Also worth noting, I think this is the bug, but Set's Omnivamp works on like item damage, which includes like stuff like Sunfire, Morello, Red Buff Burn, Spark, like the Spark, like the Spark magic damage proc, and like Runons and Shiv and stuff like that. So you can see like this Thresh is getting like a ticking heal. That ticking heal is from the Sunfire doing damage. I don't think that's intentional. Normal Omnivamp does not work on item damage, but it's a pretty good reason to build stuff like Sunfire and Spark. Just makes your frontline even more tanky and you get extra damage out of it. Go Rod here. Yeah, because I don't want a defensive item. I just go for like Syndra component. Here, you actually have like quite a few things you could hit, but I really want to go 9 to fit this Ashe in. And I'm really healthy. Oh wait, did I roll? I have an Aphelios too. Oh no, I just hit it naturally. Okay, I mean you gotta hit something. Also, positioning tip, just put Syndra and Aphelios next to each other. Usually, you'd be scared of like putting your carries next to each other because of stuff like Hue AoE, stuff like Morgana AoE. But since our team is so tanky and we heal up, our backline is actually like sometimes even tankier than our front line. So that's not really a concern. Just put them next to each other to focus fire because we have damage issues. Sometimes Bard can outscale you if they get 3 stars, but generally I'd say it's a pretty favorable matchup since like the Bard backline pressure doesn't really exist when we just heal up to full. Now I'm holding these Aphelioses just in like the small chance I can natural it, but I'm still like trying to push 9 as a priority because this Ashe is a very big spike. I believe I'm uncontested this game, but I still think that getting to level 9 consistently is a better way to play this than going for Aphelios 3. Okay, so here we have Bow, Cloak, Rod. To me, it's pretty easy. Runon's Archangel Slam. I think that's what I do because that's the only way we get 2 offensive items on our carries. Archangels is like really good in this comp usually. I don't know if it's better than Deathcap, but it's pretty nice because we just play for super late fights. Play Ornn 1 over Amumu 2. I think that's like kind of notable. Warden is not a better trait than Behemoth right here. And also Ornn is just a beast in this comp. Gives your set an item and also his Dryad, which is something. But yeah, I mean, 1 set, we basically just go straight to 9. If I didn't hit the set, I would still be pretty stable because I would have Aphelios too. But say if I didn't have 7 faded, I would try to stabilize around like Syndra 2, Ornn 2, Ashe 2 or something, and then try to push 9 and find the 1 set. I think this encounter is champions purchase gain 100% health. I actually learned that this bonus stacks, weirdly enough. So I think I end up like late game like replacing one of my units or something. It doesn't read like it would stack, but it actually does. So if you like buy 3 copies of a unit, it has plus 300 health. So here we're going against a ghostly board, and you can see like I can't really out heal this damage. I would be able to against like pretty much anything else, but it's just too much damage for me. I'm gonna have to find a way to deal with that later. Obviously pretty high roll here. Hit a faded spat off Carousel. No one denies it, but I would still be able to play 7 faded without it. Oh, here I actually roll. What do I roll? I guess my thought was probably that I was going to level on stage 6 anyways, so I didn't really want to be sitting on all this excess gold. I had Ornn pair. Oh, maybe I was trying to see if I could like dig for Aphelios or something. I think that's actually what it was. And then I see that I like upgrade Ornn and get upgraded to Mumu, so then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to push levels now. But yeah, I think I might have been digging for Aphelios through there actually. One thing this comp does really well against is Aurelia, because all the backline damage she does just gets healed up. It's also really good against Lilia. Lilia's basically been pushed completely out of the meta with Aphelios and Ghostly. Like both those comps just counter Lilia. Aurelia is still decent because like her board is so high cap she can actually still compete, but the other stuff like Lilia is just getting completely pressured out. So we see another ghostly fight here. Same thing. We just get outscaled. Gonna have to find a solution for that later. Item here. Normally you would think Gunblade's like really good, but we already talked about like I have all this Omnivamp. I don't really need it. I think I go Even Shroud here. Notable that Aphelios does have built-in Sunder when he casts, but it's only 20% and it's only when he casts. So Even Shroud is like higher uptime and 10 more %. It's not something I want to like prioritize because like it's not the biggest effect, but it's still like nice to have sometimes. So I think I take Even Shroud here. Oh, never mind. I might suck. I mean, Sterak's is pretty good on set. I have bulk. I mean, it's not that bad. I'm pretty sure I should have Even Shrouded though. To be honest, it doesn't matter that much. And apparently just leveling for a Mumu is enough to beat that ghostly board. And now both the ghostly players are dead. And we're just in the 1v1, I believe, with like a fast 9 Azir carry board. And we're probably just chilling here because I don't think he has enough single target for me. But yeah, like the fight looks scary. My front line dips low, but then I'm just healing back up and you can't do anything about it. The trade is so powerful. And I think a repeat of that happens next fight as well. And yeah, just a clean first as soon as I found that 1 set. My philosophy of this comp is that like rerolling is nice, but usually you're going to be contested, and set 1 is honestly more impactful usually than Aphelios 3. Because if you don't have set with Aphelios, you like a lot of your like favorable matchups turn unfavorable. Like if you don't have like the backline healing against Aurelia, that matchup's really hard, for example, against Bard as well. But yeah, hopefully you learned something there. I'll be releasing a tier list video next patch, so peace.